All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Time Out with Kyseé and Rodney. I am Kyseé. Rodney is out living his best life, so we're here without him, but I am still here to elevate, educate, and entertain you. I am here today. We have a very special guest joining us. She's not only an author, but also a mother, wife, and educator who has been making waves with her powerful voice and inspiring work. Our guest today is Tiffany Flowers Towns. I
It's
keep on
okay.
wanting to tell you, I keep on wanting to say Tiffany Towns Flowers, but she's been touching lives throughout her writing, her dedication to education, and her commitment to family. Her journey as a mother and wife shaped her incredible perspective on life, and we are excited to dive into her story. So,
Hi.
yeah, I want to give you some, I want to do some clapping over here for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes. See, let's do something. Yay!
Yay. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank
So
you.
I'll go back to your picture here so we can keep on playing that. All right, so we're gonna talk about this today. So I really love that you did this. I bought the book probably like about a month ago. I guess I texted you ladies, and I just bought this because I seen you showing and talking about. I was like, oh, let me get this, and
Hmm.
life was life, and I didn't get around to it. My friend, she read hers immediately, like came over here like, write in my book. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm like, girl, yes. I
Oh,
knew it was gonna
nice.
be good
Okay.
though. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be good. So when I read it, the first your first line, I was like, oh, we got to bring her on and talk because that
Uh,
like it doesn't resonate. That wasn't my life, but that was somebody's life,
right.
and you know, and my feelings were hurt because I didn't never experience that, and I was just like, I would have never in a million years thought that you felt like that. Like I never got that. So and I know you had some healing in there somewhere. So
Hmm.
um we definitely just want to get behind that and talk about that. So um this work is going to remind us of importance of balance, love, and the pursuit of personal growth, all while serving a greater good. We talked about that already. Okay. So grab a seat, guys. I can edit that out. Grab a seat for inspiring conversation with Tiffany Flowers Towns, and you're not going to miss out. You don't want to miss out on this one. All right. So our first question for you is, tell us what inspired you to write the masterpiece.
So the master's pieces, I will tell you that I got the idea for the book from the Lord.
Yes.
Um, Honestly, a whole year and a half before I even acted.
Oh, so he's operating.
So I got the idea and I was like, huh, that would be interesting. And then I sat on it because for me, it was like, gosh, how are you going to ask people to write about their business, basically, and share it with the world? And so everyone that's in the book that contributed, I am friends with in one way or another. And so, it was, but one day I woke up and I tell the story every time we do a event, and I woke up and it was early in the morning and I heard the Lord say now. And so I said, yes, sir.
I know
And
that's
so, because it was like that father, like now.
right.
And so I
Mhm.
immediately sent a group text out to the ladies that he had laid on my heart, these,
Yes.
and was like, hey, we need to do a Zoom meeting. I need to talk to you about something. And so I ended up doing two separate Zoom meetings with these ladies and just asking them. And a lot of them had never written before. So it was
Mhm.
like, and I'm like, I'll help you, I'll guide you. I just know that you're supposed to be in the book. You're the name that came to mind. And a lot of them just did it out of obedience,
Yeah.
and not out of necessarily their comfort zone. So I appreciate
Mhm.
them along the way for that, all the way. So that's kind of how we got started with that. There are 10 of us in total in the
Oh,
book.
okay. I
Yeah,
thought so because it's 30 devotionals.
right. So each of us wrote from two to four each.
Okay.
And
All right.
so, yeah, so most people wrote three. I wrote four, and another young lady wrote four because two of them only wanted to write two. So, and so we just kind of put it together that way.
I can't wait to get through it. I'm just like I'm following directions, and you
I
said
think
we
you're good.
one a day.
One a
So
day, because you have to marinate and
yeah,
let
you
it
have to marinate, and
feed
I
into your
love
soul.
the
And
exercise too. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
the
yeah,
exercise that you gave behind there.
yeah.
Writing is so important. Writing it down, making it plain, is so important. Like I
Mhm.
know for me anyway, and that's just not a scripture. Like if I don't write it down,
Mhm.
haywire,
Mhm.
haywire. It's haywire.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll get so sidetracked so fast that if I don't write it down, I'll be like, wait, what am I doing?
Mhm.
So I have to write it down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely, I have to write it down. So, and how did you come up with the title? I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I still want you to explain that. And
Well,
what significance does it hold?
so, actually, we came up with it as a collective. One of the authors had it as one of the suggestions. So, this was very much a group effort, other than me leading them down the road, and kind of guiding and putting everything together. But it is the master's pieces. It is based off of the scripture that talks about being God's masterpiece. Um,
Yes. Is
and
that your
so,
scripture? Is that
it
your
really
scripture?
is not. It just
I
was
love
something that
it. I love when
resonated
you
with
say,
for we are his workmanship created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. That is also seen as we are his masterpiece, depending on your translation in the Bible.
what scripture was
Um,
that?
hold on, let me, because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, and I know it, but
It's all
um,
right. You confirm.
it's Ephesians 2:10.
I love Ephesians.
Ephesians 2:10. And so because we are all a part of God's master's plan, and each one of us has a role that we have to play. And so just because your role may look different than someone else's role doesn't mean that it's not just as important. And if you look at the book design itself, you'll see the
I
puzzle
love
pieces,
it.
because all these come together to make this beautiful butterfly, right? So
Yes.
even down to the color scheme of the cover, the design. One of the author's daughters did the actual design of the cover, but we
Oh
told her
wow.
we want the butterflies with the puzzle pieces. Like, we all contributed to the design of the cover, and she just kind of brought our vision to life. So,
Love
um,
that.
yeah, it's different parts. Like, the tagline was another one of the authors. She came up, the 30 Intimate Devotionals for Women in Word. But I was very clear with them when I started that it that this required a level of vulnerability and openness
Mhm.
that was going to require some personal
Yeah.
revelations, so that I really wanted them to understand. And I did end up sending some back, because
It
people,
wasn't.
some of them start broad, because I'm like, no, I need a personal story in here. I need a personal story. um and they were open to it. I said, remember, this is what we're doing, da 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 da. And then we got to where we needed to be. But it was a joint effort, and this verse just resonated with all of us when we were planning, so that's how we got there.
I love that. I
Hmm.
love that. What themes do you hope readers will take away from the master's pieces? The
So it's
master.
interesting, because we I didn't start with a theme per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the Lord told me is that the theme would kind of naturally evolve. It would kind of just let everybody write. And so the three things that stand out in
Mm-hmm.
this is faith,
Yes.
hope, and love.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the three things that all of the devotionals seem to kind of wrap in those three words, in different ways. So I want people to understand, the main reason is, when people go to church,
Mm-hmm.
they have on their dresses, and they have on their big hats, and they have their makeup on, and you know they look all put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea of this perfect Christian woman is what I was fighting against,
Mm-hmm.
because just because you look the part doesn't mean that there aren't struggles. And so people think Christians don't struggle. We do. We do have hardships.
Have a
We
different way
do.
of getting through it.
Right, exactly. And so it was kind of opening up lifting the veil from the big hat and saying, hey, here's the real thing. This is real. There's something you said yesterday in your podcast really stuck out to me. When you said, I would never have guessed Tiffany. She looks well put together. She looks like this, whatever. And I would never have guessed that she was going through. any
Mm-hmm.
of this,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the purpose of the book. It's like,
Yes.
people look
Exactly.
like, people think, oh,
Exactly.
you got it all together. Yeah, but there's some stuff that I had to go through to get here.
Mm-hmm. Some
Some
healing.
stuff I'm still going through
Yeah.
that keep
Absolutely.
to stay here. So, we just want to make sure that everybody knows being a Christian doesn't mean life is perfect and that you have to be perfect and that God can see you through anything.
See your heart. I love
Hmm.
that. I love that. So, how could you share some of the most challenging aspects of writing the book? Is that sending back the stories and encouraging to do more, or did you have some other ones?
Well, so anytime that you're working with a group of people to try to get something together, it can
Mm-hmm.
be challenging. We had a couple of deadlines, a couple of proposed publishing dates that kind of got pushed back a little bit, um, just because some people had some life
Right.
happening, and the Lord told me to wait. Like, this person has to be in the book, so you have to wait. So I waited.
Mm.
Um, but I think that, other than that, and other than, just the back and forth with editing, and, okay, I need you to add this, okay, this is a little long, because some of the ladies were quite eloquent, in their speech, but the idea is a devotional. People aren't going to spend a whole lot of time on it, right?
Right.
So
Right. You
let's
got.
make it short, let's make it readable, get the bite and go.
Mhm.
So some trimming down, but the ladies were just, they trusted me so much.
I can
And
absolutely see that. I can absolutely see that.
it's such an honor that they trusted me the way
Yeah.
they did.
I absolutely. I see. I mean, listen. I only spent a weekend with you, and I absolutely would. Absolutely.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have to be careful when people trust you, to make sure that you honor the trust that they give you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just, and it just turned out they saw things in themselves, I think, in the end, that they didn't even know were there.
That's the most important thing.
And I love it. And I love it for them. Some of them are going to go off and do some things on their own, just, to be a catalyst for someone's success or someone's growth. It's just something that I feel blessed to be a part of. And so
Yes.
I'm excited about that and to see what comes from it.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. What a
Thank
blessing.
you.
What a blessing. So, what role does family play in your writing, both in the book and in your personal life?
So, I will say that my dear sweet husband, Vince, he did a lot of editing
Oh, he
with me.
did. Okay.
So, like, I
One,
would read.
one
So
time for Vince. One
well,
time
one time for Vince, indeed. He
for
is
real.
he is a pastor.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
um,
So he has some good patience then.
he
Then
has patience, but more than that, he's always patient, because I can be. Yeah, we won't get into that. But anyway, he's
he's the
very
yin to
patient.
the yang.
Yes. But
Yes.
he was able to actually, say, yes, this aligns, because it was important to me that everything aligns with the word,
Your values.
right?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that we're not, because, there are some people that go left field, right field.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what that scripture means, So that was
Mm-hmm.
that part too. And then he's very good at editing too. So I would edit and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to show you this. Just look for any typos I may have missed or things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, that part of it too. And so I talked a lot about it too. So it was a lot. But I would say my girls, I have a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old,
Wow.
and they have been very supportive. They've been at all my events when they can. When we have like book signings or things, they're there. They're helping me plan. I bounce ideas. My family is very involved and very supportive in what I do,
I
and
love
that
that.
makes it easy. It makes
Yes.
it very easy.
Yes.
Well,
Because you
easier, not easy, but
that
easier.
built-in team that you can trust. So that's
Yes,
really good. I
yes.
love that. I love that for you. So, how about your educational background? Did that influence the writing of this book at all?
Well, I'm an educator all the way, so I feel like a part of this is educating people on what Christianity really looks
Mhm.
like for the
Not
Christian
only that,
woman.
mental healing and some mental health too.
Right. And so
You
when
know.
you said yesterday in the podcast that you were like, I'm sure she's been through some counseling. She has. And
Mhm.
that's okay. And that's been something that I pushed when I was working directly in schools as an administrator. It's like, we have EAP. I need you to go take advantage of it. Like, I need you to go. It's okay. Black women can do counseling, because the culture that we grew up in, that was not for us. We did you can handle it yourself,
Yeah, yeah, you're
So
strong. We're strong. Yeah, yeah.
we're strong, whatever. You don't have to be strong. It's okay to talk through and talk with someone. Um, and so, yeah, a lot of the things that I've been able to get past, that I could write a whole one by myself just on my life. It's been interesting, but I did talk through some of that in counseling, and some of it just came through, meditating, studying. Even writing this was therapeutic. Writing my ones were therapeutic, and just realizing, oh, God really has brought me through a lot of different things. And so, He is there, and it just increased my faith. I'm a faith person by nature.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 is my life verse. It always has been. And
I'll be
so,
nosy. Let me write that one down too. I like to be nosy like that.
oh,
Proverbs 3,
so
5, and
that
6. I love Proverbs. Period.
Yeah, 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding.
Oh God,
In all
yes.
your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Yes. Um, and actually, I'll say one of the authors, Ashana, she's the one that actually kind of got me more. Like, I grew up in church, but there's a point where you actually do church, right?
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
she's the one that set me on the path. And as soon as I got serious, that was the first verse that stuck out to me. Just because we can be so logical, and we
Yeah.
can be so, if we can't see it, it's not going to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so that that one of mine is on that verse, blind faith, straight paths, question mark. So, because it's like, gosh, can we just really just leap into letting God lead, and letting go of what we think should happen? Can we really leap into that and know and trust that He'll make it all right? Or do we have to be that analytical, oh no, I can't see it, so it can't happen
Mm-hmm.
person? So yeah,
That ego
that's one of
spirit.
the devotionals. You'll see it in there.
Mm-hmm. We are good for operating that ego spirit our
Mm-hmm.
way. We know, and we don't know anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so what was your creative process while you was writing the master's pieces?
So like I said, it was, we um I
How many
contacted.
Zoom meetings you guys have? Like, was it
Oh
once a
man.
week? Like,
I really try not to overwhelm them with those. We had a lot up front just because we were trying to, we had to have cover design, we had to have color scheme, we had to have who was doing what verse, because the big thing for me was every devotional had to cover a different verse.
mm-hmm.
And I told them to try to find some obscure ones, because there's some that you hear in church all the time.
All the time. Right,
Yeah, so
right.
I wanted to try to tap into some that, to introduce some people to, even those who have walked before. You may not have ever heard these other voices before.
Yes, because it's a
So
big.
yeah, so I wanted to make sure of that. So just trying to coordinate that. We did a photo shoot for the book, so trying to coordinate that. So every devotional starts with the person's picture. You saw that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so coordinating that, because one of our authors lives in Maryland. So
Yeah, I always right because I seen somebody was not pictured, so that's probably I figured somebody was who lived.
and just in that one part, but she's actually in the book. She ended up having to send me a headshot because she couldn't get down here. But just trying to coordinate those things, we didn't. But as far as like the page layout and things like that, I did that. Um, the butterflies, all the formatting, all the typesetting, I did do that myself. Um, and they trusted me to do that, and then I think it came out great. I was shocked that I could
It
do it.
really did.
I was
It
like, "Oh, you
really
did
did.
that."
You did a great job.
Because this was the first time, so this is kind of my baby, in that I've written other books and they haven't been Christian based per se, but this one, just, it was my baby because it was mine from beginning to end. And being able to, like I said, to have those ladies trust me with their heart
Mm-hmm. Oh,
was,
that.
you know something for me. So I'm excited. This is the one I love the most so far. I will say that.
So, what about your journey? Have you Can you describe your journey you've had as an author up to this point? I mean, I know you said you
Sure.
have some other books. So,
So yeah, when I was in fifth grade, and I always have to start. Was I was in fifth
oh,
grade. I was
perseverance here.
Yeah. So I was in fifth grade, and I was a good student, straight A student, real quiet, predominantly white school,
Mm-hmm.
and with my chocolate skin, that was a whole thing.
Tough.
Um, they were curious, you know,
Mm-hmm.
curious. Let's just put it like that. Why's your hair like that? How'd you do this? Blah blah.
That's
Whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was quiet, and I did not think that anyone saw me. You know what I mean? Like saw me because I just kind of, and I was okay with that because my mom said don't have them come up to the school, after me, whatever. Okay, so I was good. But when at the end of the year, the teacher wrote. Her name is Polly Gray. Um, she wrote like a "Where will they be in the future, 20 years from now?" thing, and she got to me. And at the time, my last name was Griffin. I've had like four last names. Longer story, but anyway.
That's okay.
And she said Tiffany Griffin is on her way to her movie premiere. Her second novel has been turned into a movie, the second movie, and she's da da da. And I was like, and then she said she's just been this great novelist and writer. And I was like, she thinks I can write.
And this is fifth grade.
Fifth grade, my fifth grade teacher, end of the year.
Yes, she claimed. Now that's called claiming. Okay,
She did, and
she
I,
claimed
it
that.
was like she thinks I can write. It was just I didn't think anyone saw me.
Is she
So
still
I was
around? You need to reach out to her if she's still around.
I dedicated my first
Oh,
but novel to, she was one of my dedications. At the time I couldn't remember her first name, but ironically, one of the teachers I was supervising at the time, her mom and that teacher were at my school at the same time, and she was able to
wow!
make sure, hey,
Look
she
at
wrote about you in her book, whatever. So from that point, I started writing poetry. So I wrote all through middle school, high school, but never really did anything with it. And then I went to this workshop with the lady, she's not, well, the young lady, but she's a mentor who published my first two books. And she did like a writing workshop, and I'm writing. She was like, "Oh, you have a good style. You should do it." And then COVID hit, and I had an idea for the first book, and it's my romance novels start with like a poem, and then the book kind of is follows the outline of the poem. And so during COVID, I just finished the book and published it.
that. Oh, wow, that's a
And,
beautiful thing.
and then the second one, it kind of leaves the first one. It's called "I Wish I Would Never." I wish I had never. I wish I had never. And it leaves you kind of with a cliffhanger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so everybody was like, "Hey, where's the second book?" Right? So I wrote the second book. It took me a minute, but I wrote the second book that answered everything, and it's called "I Thought I Would Never." Same thing,
I would
poem
love for
book.
you to send me those links too. I'll add them to this when I post it. You know,
Okay,
you're promoting this one, but still,
right? No, it's fine. And then I was at the last school I was the AP at. There was a
Mhm.
second grader, and her teacher was telling her, "Oh, we have an author here. Miss Towns is an author, whatever, whatever." And she would, but you can't read her books. And she was like, "Well, why haven't you written a book that we could read?"
The kid called you out.
And yeah, so this
I love
face like,
that. I love that they did that though. That gave you another
So
outlet. I'm like,
right.
oh,
So then came Amaya and Jackson learned the power of yet. And her name was Amaya. It's spelled a little differently than the characters, but and Jackson is my little cousin. So they're the main characters, and then there's a follow up to that. Amaya and Jackson learn the power of kindness. Um, and so I have two romance books, two children's books, this book, and there's some more to come this year.
yes, that's so nice. I'm so happy for you, Tiff.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful. So, how does the master's pieces reflect your own personal growth and journey as an individual? Do you still speak to your Do you speak to your biological father? How?
So that's a very interesting story in
Yeah.
itself. Um, what I don't say in the book is that when I was 14, 15 ish, I had reached out because, you just want to know and
Right.
need where you came from. Didn't He never answered any letters. My mom got angry
Mm.
because you know how we can be about our, don't play with the children.
Let me hurt my
And
baby's feelings.
hey,
Right.
so she took him to court for all the back child support that he paid. He did end up losing, but he said, And I got all, she's like, "You want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because by then, by the time they went through all that, I was like 16. And she was
Mm.
like, "You want to come?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wear this outfit. I'm gonna make sure my hair is this, whatever, whatever. I get to see my father, whatever, whatever." Never looked my way.
Mm.
Never acknowledged me. And the judge was like, going through the things, and he was like, "Well, she's not mine." And the judge was like, "Well, she was yours in '74, so she's yours now. So we're not gonna get into that." So that's the only interaction. And then we
That's
rode in the elevator down together, and he didn't say a word, didn't look my way. He went one way, we went the other way. And yeah, so yeah.
so that breaks my heart because and I'm such a kumbaya type person. I
Okay.
always try I always try and find, I mean, not the good, but the compassion, you
Hmm.
know? And I tell people right now to send your children to therapy because our parents will mess us up, you know?
Yes.
They will mess us up and don't even mean to, just based on
Right.
our generational curses. And you have to wonder what he went through
Right.
growing up for him to be so incompassionate for a child that is his. And that would have given me a level of forgiveness for him because that's some sickness. You got to really understand that that's a sick individual to deny a child.
Well, I in order for my growth and my movement
Forgive him.
forward, he's forgiven. I mean,
Absolutely,
I
you have to. You have
I
to. Yep.
mean, I mean, that was when I was 16. It reared itself back up because you
Hmm.
block memories. It reared
Yeah.
itself back up when I got in my 40s, kind of like, oh, but and that's when the part when I was in counseling. So that was one of the things that we kind of talked through.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is,
Too
and
bad for him.
and there's no telling. He could have
Mm,
been a bad, I mean, maybe God took him out for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason he wasn't a part of it. So I don't worry
absolutely.
too much
Of
about
his
it.
master's piece.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
he living?
So yeah, he's alive.
I would absolutely just tell him thank you if I was you. Thank you. Thank you. Because
Yeah,
who
I
knows
mean,
what kind of person you would have been if he had been around.
correct. And
So
so
I'm grateful for you
God's protection.
as you are,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
so you could have ended up being a spoiled, rotten brat had he been around. So you
I
turned
could
out
have.
perfectly fine. And
Well, thank you.
I mean, none of
But
us are perfect, but you know what I mean.
when you ask me if so that's a part of, but I think for me, just I really wanted to make sure that everyone knew it was okay to have struggles.
Yeah.
And so a
Hmm.
part of it, as far as my personal growth, is allowing myself to have struggles and
Mm,
know it's okay to have struggles. And I don't
yeah.
have to be perfect, super mom, super wife, super whatever. Things happen, and it's okay to feel what you feel.
Yeah.
So, a part of this was, and even some of their stories, I know them all personally, but I didn't know some things, right? So,
Right.
um, even learning about them and going through the devotional myself is just like, wow,
I can't wait to finish reading. I really want
wow.
you to just
I
give me.
think you will really get something in there touches everyone.
Oh, it definitely. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
that was like your third or fourth. First of all, I was caught up with the scripture. I love the scripture. I
Hmm.
resonated with that right away. But then when I read your the first sentence, I was like, I was locked in. I was locked
Hmm.
in. I'm like, if this
Good.
is how it's starting, I want to
Hmm.
see how everything else is going for everybody else. Because I'm like I said, I would have never imagined you writing something like that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that alone is healing for people.
Hmm.
So reading that, to keep reading that's definitely going to be some way more personal growth for my own self. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes. I'm excited for you.
Yes, yes. So, what advice would you give to young, aspiring writers, especially those interested in exploring themes of family, identity, and empowerment?
Well, the first thing I would say is you have to start writing. Like you have to write. Like you have to set aside, okay, I'm going to spend this 30 minutes, this hour writing. And I'm more of a write as the book develops person, but some people outline, some
Mm-hmm.
people um, plot
Yep.
out. They know all both of my books with the romance. I knew the ending before the beginning. So I
Mm.
had to work my way to the ending, which was kind of weird for me. And most people don't write like that. So if that's your style, but just write something. Even if you're just writing out, I'm plotting this. These are my characters' names.
Right.
This is what I want them to look like. Or hey, I want to write about my family. I want to write about this episode. This chapter can be this about this episode. And just start writing
Mm-hmm.
pieces. And
Mm-hmm.
as pieces come to you, write them. You don't have to write in order. You don't have to write chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, chapter
Right.
four. You can write and piece it together later. And for me, I don't physically write, I type because my thoughts come too fast for me to write.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Um,
Yeah.
because I write very loopy. So,
Yeah, I write like that too. And I don't understand what I wrote sometimes. Like, what?
right. So I can
Yeah,
get my
and that
thought
makes
out,
sense too, because you
you
can.
know.
It's neater. You can erase it. Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. I can save it, copy. If I want to move a paragraph somewhere, I
Right.
just move it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so that's how I write. I don't write, but a lot of people like to actually put pen to paper, and that's fine too. So I would say do what works for you, but
Mm-hmm.
one thing is important is start writing. Start writing.
Yeah.
Don't delay. Don't say, well, I'm gonna wait until whenever. Just start writing, and even if you put it down for a month and come back to it, it's okay. Just make sure you're writing. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're really serious about getting something out, give yourself a deadline and say, I'm going to write this much by this time, this much by this time, this much by this time, and follow the plan. And if don't beat yourself up if you get off track, just get back on track.
Yeah. Be kind.
And have people read your stuff. Does this make sense? But make sure it's somebody that actually
Cares about you.
cares about you, is not trying to sabotage you, that will actually give you truth and love.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, this isn't good. Why don't you try this? You know,
Those are good girls.
um, yeah, good girlfriends,
Friends. Those
boyfriends,
are good
husbands,
friends. Period.
whatever.
Whoever. Yeah.
Um,
Those are good friends.
yeah.
Honestly.
So, but make sure you write. You gotta write. Like you have to write.
I love that.
Hmm.
Well, Tiffany, I really appreciate you coming on here and just giving us all your information, letting us know about the master's pieces. I love this book. I'm just starting off. And guys, for you social media people, does anybody have any questions for Tiffany over here on social media? It's just going, going, going. I haven't even been looking over here.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. I think everybody's just watching.
Oh, okay. Good.
Like, oh,
I'm
if you
glad they're
guys,
watching.
yeah, I'm gonna. It's a lot of people. It's a whole lot of people over here on TikTok. But hey there. So I'm gonna upload when we're done taping here. I'm gonna upload this so you guys can see it immediately. I'm not even gonna edit it. I'm just gonna go ahead and just roll it out.
I
And
think
you
we're
guys,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The first few, that's fine. But you guys can watch it. Purchase the book. The links will be there for you, and go and read this book. This is gonna be good for everyone. I mean, like I said, the first line had me sucked in. So, and you guys know I'm all about mental health. If you have a healthy mind, you have a healthy life, you're happier. So take a look at this book. I'll leave all the information for you. Well, all the information is for you here on social media. So go ahead and purchase this book, guys. Okay. So,
And yeah, can I just say all the
say
authors'
whatever.
names? I just
Absolutely.
want to say all the authors' names just to make sure they
Please,
get their
please.
acknowledgement because
Hmm.
it's not all me, right?
Right.
Me and then Leah Beckwith,
Okay.
Nicole Hunter, Jada Lewis, Dr. Marilyn Myers, Cheryl J. Rogers, Tanisha Slaughter Simmons, Minnie L. Smith. That's my auntie. She's 92. I just want to
Oh,
throw
I
it
want to talk
there.
to her.
Uh huh.
You think she
Um,
wants to talk to us?
I think she
I
can,
would, oh,
yes.
absolutely.
Um, Ashana Durham Wilson, that's who you know. And then
Yes.
Janine Gibbons Wilson. So all of us are the master's pieces. And I will also say there is a second book coming out soon along this lines. We are working on it now. And it should be out by the end of the year. At the latest. And
All
maybe on Mother's Day we'll see.
oh,
But
take your
by
time.
the
Is
end
it
of the year
all
for
the same?
sure.
Is it the same authors, or is it you have more?
So some of them are the same, and some
Mhm.
have chosen not to do the second project, which is great. because they're going off to do their own things, which is
Right.
fine. Or life is
So,
lifing, and that's also fine. But
so
there are some new
which
there are some new
auntie?
people, huh?
Who's auntie? Because
Minnie L.
I'm out
Smith,
to cheat. Your aunt. Which one?
Minnie L. Smith.
Yeah, I can't wait to read hers. I want to just
Yeah,
mark her.
she has three. Hers are called mini moments. So
I
she's,
can't wait,
yeah,
honey. I'm
and she's
here for.
actually
I'm here
working on
for.
her own book too. So I'm helping her with that.
Really?
So
I love those older
yes,
people. They have so much
yeah,
information to share. They've seen
that's what
so
I
much.
told her. You have so much
Listen,
skill. You got to get it
I
out
don't
there.
even know we're gonna talk about the masterpieces when we get her because I started thinking about something else. Like I'm gonna dig in her brain.
Well, you
Like,
can't get all of her information from her book because she'll tell you. We need people who want to
well,
read the book, so you got to
well,
wait.
no. Listen, I was gonna ask her how you feel about yesterday. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, she'll
So
tell you.
I would go somewhere else with her. We'll do a little bit of this, but I mean, just a level of information she can have for everybody.
When
You
we
know,
have events, she's usually one of the stars of the show because
I love it.
she just drops these nuggets of wisdom every time. She's got a
That's
one line that just kills you. You're just like, oh, and
yeah.
she's my aunt, and I've known her my whole life, and I'm still like, oh. So
We're gonna
yeah,
definitely
that's
get
my.
Auntie Minnie on here. I'm excited
Uh,
about that, guys.
okay, okay,
So stay tuned for more is coming out from Tiffany and her friends. They're gonna create some more masterpieces for us to read
yes,
and
yes.
you know, enhance our lifestyles. You have anything else you want to share with the viewers?
I don't, but I really hope that you let me know how you're doing with it along the way, and I would
Oh,
love
absolutely.
feedback
Well, I'm gonna review it every
as
day.
well. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I feel like, listen, I'm on medical leave, so I'm just really,
Oh,
I'm spending my time intentionally, just intentionally, and I feel
right.
like this is something that is definitely intentional. Even if I don't sit on the whole podcast, I just feel like women just need to know. People just need to know we're not perfect, and it's okay, and be
Yeah.
kind. Because some of the stuff
Yes.
I hear people say to themselves are
Mm-hmm.
worse than any kind of enemy would, say to them. And then some of the stuff I hear them just complaining about, I'm like, are you serious?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
they need to see some other perspective. They need to see a story like yours. If you like, you need to check yourself because that's what you're complaining about. Like, So
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
definitely, I'll be tagging you every day when I go over somebody. But I
Okay.
really appreciate you taking
Thank
your
you so
time.
much for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming in and sharing all your information with us. We're going to go ahead and close now, guys. Please join us for the next time. Please make sure you are liking us on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're all across there. So please make sure you are supporting the machine. And please make sure you are purchasing that book. All the information is going to be on the link. This is the book. If you don't see the link, you can easily go and Google it. I mean, put it right in Amazon and it pops up like 2.25 seconds. So that's there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, just hold on. That's still request. Gonna